All right, Spark family. Happy Thursday. Excited to be here for some food for thought this week. Back again with Malaika Salaam. Happy Thursday, everyone. First and foremost, hope you're doing well and staying healthy during these crazy and intense times. Every day, we just continue to be reminded of the importance of caring for ourselves during this intense whirlwind. And that's why I'm so thankful for this theme that we've been rolling up and talking about for, what has it been, like the past couple months? It's almost been 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll pass it over to you to share more about what our theme is for this week. And let's just dig in with our food for thought.
All right. Hey, y'all. Hey, Malaika here. So this week's food for thought centers around financial wellness. And so we do some preparation, we do some pre-discussion, and financial wellness, we kind of pulled that apart, right? We kind of parsed that out. And what it really comes down to is moving away from just financial wellness. So one of the beautiful things that I love about this series, for myself personally, has been the opportunity to look at things differently, right? So we came into this talking about self-care, which has been for me, my language and the way that I see it has changed. And so it's shaped a new way of me looking at this. So I've gone from self-care to deep care of self. And financial wellness works in much the same way, right? Because it's not just about our finances. And so I love how you put this, Rachel, which was money is energy. Money is energy. So it's really about the wellness of that energy. All of these different things that we've talked about, our environment, spirit, emotional, social, physical, intellectual, all of those things involve a type of energy. So in this space, what we're talking about, what we want to focus on is not just our finances, but the energy of our resources, right? So not just our money, but also our time, also our talent, right? For people who are creators. So what I have seen happen, what has been true for me in my experience, is that I have not always had money to be able to donate, to be consistent with. I have had a heart to want to give or to want to do or be involved, but I've not always had the money to support that. I'm fortunate now to be in a better place financially where I can do those things. But in the absence of that, what I found worked for me was dedicating my time. So that meant, showing up, taking notes, being the person who was on the front lines, because that is what I could do at that time. That is the space that I could occupy. That is where I could put my energy. And also my creativity, my talent. Like, okay, so you have an idea for a thing you want to do. I specifically remember doing this with Children's Day at a church I used to attend. And we did a Star Wars theme and people loved it. And it was just that I didn't have a lot of money to put into a, program for church. I didn't have a lot of backing. And the church was like, well, listen, we have the backing, but we don't have the idea. So like, if you can bring that talent, and that worked out. The children loved it. The parents loved it. And it was just, for me, very fulfilling. Like in the end, like, when they were like shouting out, all the people who were involved, I was really surprised that anybody was like, and, thank you, Malaika, for, putting this thing together. Because for me, it wasn't a major thing that I did. I had a heart for it. And the only thing that I had at that time, the only resource that I felt like I had at that time was my time and my talent. And so I gave of my time and my talent.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. I think it is an important reframe because money has a lot of stigma and kind of a lot attached to it, right? And I've done a lot of healing work on like finances and money and like, I guess like owning the ways in which our money story really impacts how we show up in the world and what we attract in the world. Like there's so much underneath money, right? In and of itself. And money, people always say all the time, time is money. And it truly is. And so when we start to think about our time and our energy as something that is worth really interrogating and reflecting on, like, how am I using my time to what am I donating, whether it's time or finances? If I have the financial capacity to donate, in what ways am I doing that? And sometimes it's not actually, the more I've been in justice work and equity spaces, it's not about the one-time donations. It's about the recurring donations. It's about showing up, giving the time, showing up, rolling up our sleeves, putting things in boxes and mailing out letters, like all that stuff matters. And so I think this week I just felt really called to share that and to remind us that, like, and for myself in the like spirit of learning in public and my commitment to do that, it's important that I do some finance audits on myself and to say like, okay, how are you using your extra resources, the money that I used to use on going out to eat and coffee and filling up my tank of gas, like where did that money go? And I had a real heart to heart with myself and thought, okay, there's this much left over. So I'm going to start these recurring donations and like really taking stock of what we're doing with our time and financial resources and not just leaving it up to like the flavor of the month. Oh, there's this flashy post and someone's saying I need to donate, or this one campaign. Like, I think the theme for me that always comes up is how do we sustain this work and all support each other through a lens of sustainability. And I think that is such an important thing to talk about and keep thinking about.
Absolutely. So, and it just reminds me of, this is a marathon and not a sprint, right? So this is conditioning. Conditioning is what leads to the sustainability, right? Us having the endurance to go the distance. So one thing that came up for me when you were talking is this concept of time as money and the fact that we don't look at energy as currency, right? So if time is money and money is energy, and our resources are different types of energy. Energy is currency. It's not only the literal current that runs through things, but it's what we have to trade in. So when we look at it from that standpoint and we follow where is our energy going, this is why it's important for us to take breaks. This is why it's important for us to do the wellness. Financial wellness literally centers around taking steps to live within your means. So if we switch out that word finance with the word resource, and we're talking about the wellness of our resources, the wellness of our energy. Now we're talking about what are the necessary steps that we need to take to live within our energetic means, right? So the same way that we financially plan, we need to be planning where our energy goes. We need to be watching where our energy goes, right? When you go to certain places and you spend money, what is that supporting? I don't go to, in my area, let me say, there are major grocery stores. However, if I want a watermelon, specifically watermelon, it's watermelon season. I love watermelon. All of the stuff that comes with watermelon, I understand and I accept. And watermelon is a huge part of my life in this season. But I cannot buy those watermelons from the grocery store because they don't align with what I believe about how fruit should come. So I don't eat seedless watermelon as a practice, which means that I then have to seek out watermelon. You know who always has the seeded watermelon? A man in a truck by the side of the road has the seeded watermelon. So when we talk about small businesses, it's not just these small buildings and structures that we know about, but it's also supporting those people who grow watermelon, who grow seeded watermelon, who summer after summer, I've been in Florida for 5 years now, and summer after summer, every summer, I know where to go to find the man that has the seeded watermelon. But that is important to me. So I budget my time and my energy, right, for seeking out that thing that aligns with what my beliefs are. There are restaurants that I don't eat at because I don't support their politics. When I go to that restaurant, if I were to go to that restaurant, I would not be able to enjoy it fully because it wouldn't be in alignment with who I am and where I stand. So energetically, I don't budget time for that. I don't budget money for that. That is not a thing that I'm interested in. So much in the same way that you took stock of, where am I spending extra money and how can I divert that? We've got to be the same way with all of our resources, right? So going back to energetic wellness, how am I planning for that? Right. What is my budget for that? How am I being a good steward of my energy? How am I living my beliefs and values in politics? That's right. resource wellness.
Yeah. And it takes all of this work. Every layer of the wellness wheel takes a little bit of extra consciousness and time, right? Like to live with intentionality takes a little bit of extra time to be thoughtful and mindful of what, before we live in this instant gratification culture, before I go just get the thing that I want right now, let me slow down and think about, is there a small business? Is there a Black owned small business? Is there an LGBT owned small business? Sorry, that's my timer. Is there, like, how can I be a little bit more thoughtful about the places that I'm buying my books, right? Like just the way in which there's this urge to have the instantaneous, and I have to catch myself on a regular basis because I move fast and I've got a lot of stuff that's going on. And every day I'm like, no, it's not urgent right now. That's not urgent for you. Like reframe, Rachel, that is important and it can wait a month. You can go through the small business, go with the Black owned bookstore, and you can wait a month instead of getting it in Amazon tomorrow. It's fine. Life goes on, you know? Yeah. And so really taking stock of that and assessing. I appreciate the reframe too around energy being just as important. So taking stock, where is there, maybe the food for thought this week is just the invitation to do an audit, do a quick assessment. What am I doing with my time? What am I doing with my resources? What am I doing with whatever resource means to you? That might mean making a home cooked meal for a family that needs it. And that might mean donating to some, there's all sorts of ways that we can give and be mindful of how we're giving our time, energy, and resources. And I think that it's a part of the conversation that's not often talked about. So I just appreciate you bringing it to the table this week.
Absolutely. I think that is a beautiful invitation for us to do an energy audit. Yeah. Right? Where are we using our energy? And so again, thinking of that as currency, if time is money and money is energy, where is our energy going?
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. Whew, I love it. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to us this week and for always just being a great thought partner in this journey of learning in public. I appreciate you, Malaika.
Absolutely. I'm always grateful for this space. And again, for the opportunity to learn in public, also to love in public,
that's
but
right.
Yes. To learn in public. And that's part of it. So I'm appreciative of this because I know what this looks like in real time and the practical applications. And I'm able to see that and, come back each week and talk about, what is changing in my life as a result of it. So thank you for continuing to open up this space and for your continued commitment to this work. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Right back at you. And to the Spark family, we look forward to hearing what this sparks for you and what you want to talk more about as the series is going to come to a close next week. We'd love to hear what topics folks have energy around, and we'll stay tuned for next week. Hope to see y'all at the pop-up tomorrow, Friday, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, and 3:30 Pacific. Much love, y'all. Continue to stay well and be well. And until next time, take good care.